Hey guys, how you all doing? I'm Paul, the Tech Giant, and today I'm going to be telling you what are the best things about this 65-inch B9 OLED from LG. So, just got to say a massive thanks to the guys at box.co.uk for sending me over this TV for a few weeks to try out, and yeah, I really appreciate it. If it weren't for those guys sending me these TVs, I wouldn't be able to make these videos for you guys at home, so thanks very much to them. So I've had this TV now for a fair number of weeks, and I think I'm now in a strong enough position to give a fair and honest opinion of its strengths. But also I will be doing a video covering the worst things about it, just to make it fair. So yeah, watch out for that video coming soon. So anyway, I think it's time we crack on with the video. Right, so starting off with the first best thing about this TV, and it's got to be the number one thing really, hasn't it, when it's an OLED, and that's the picture quality. Look at it, it is absolutely stunning. The brightness there that you've got, this is a 4K HDR bit of footage of my own, and it just looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, I've had these TVs now, OLEDs in general, for about a year, and they never fail to amaze me. The picture quality is just blow away, and it's one of those sort of things that you just never get bored of. Even now, after having, like I said, I've had my B8 model for 12 months. Even now I put a movie on and it still blows me away. And you know, this B9 just takes it that little bit further again. Just, I mean, look at that. That is just absolutely beautiful. Let me just move around to this side here. And this is just, you know, footage shot off a mobile phone in 4K HDR, and that looks that good there. So I think that just says it all really. And, you know, wait until you put some like 4K Dolby Vision content, it gets even better again. I mean, it's a sort of TV that makes you fall in love with watching movies again. If you sort of got out from watching movies, this is the TV that will get you back into watching them. You know, I now sort of actively go around looking to buy films again to watch on this TV, because it is simply such a pleasure to watch. So that is my first best thing about this TV. It is the stunning picture quality. Right, so the next best thing about this TV has got to be the viewing angles. They are absolutely amazing. It doesn't seem to matter where you sit, you get just as good picture anywhere. Now I'll just move around to the side here and show you guys what it is like. And look at that, it doesn't seem to wash out or anything like that. The colours still remain. See, where other TVs, if you get around to an angle like this, you will start to lose, like I say, the colours. It'll go like wishy-washy. But with this, nope, it just looks just as good no matter where you sit. Now I'm on another sofa here to the side of the TV, and that looks just amazing still. Absolutely amazing. I mean, I think this in itself is just a really good selling feature, because not a lot of people really think about it until they've got a TV home, and you know, they are sat on like maybe a sofa to the side, and then they realise, hold on, that don't look quite as good as it did when we were stood in the store looking at it straight on. But it is, you know, something that a lot of us have got to take into account, because, you know, we don't all live in a perfect world where we can sit looking straight on a TV. You know, you maybe have friends and families around and they sit on another sofa, and, you know, you all want to have a nice viewing experience. But with this, it doesn't matter where you sit, it seems to look just as good no matter what angle you're looking at it from. I mean, if I go down like really low here, like look up, I mean, look at that, it just doesn't change at all. So that is the next best thing about this TV, and that is the viewing angles. Right, next up on the best things about this B9 OLED from LG, and that is the design. I think it is an absolutely beautiful TV. It is a stunner. Now, if I just show you like how small the bezels are on this thing, they are absolutely tiny. But the main standout thing has got to be how thin this TV is. It is literally like a sheet of glass. Now, to be honest, when you move down to the bottom, it does get thicker, but that is where all the guts of the TV is housed and your speakers. But still, it is quite astonishing how thin this TV is. I mean, just to put it in comparison, I've got this Samsung QLED here, and I move around to the side there, and that is a chunky monkey. And then you move to the OLED. Look how thin it is, just bananas. Absolutely love it. And I must admit, when you know, we swap TVs around and all that when we're sort of testing them out, and we had the QLED up on the wall for a while, took that down and got the OLED out the box again, and it just felt so futuristic going back to a panel that thin. It just never fails to amaze me. Even, like I said, even though it is thicker down the bottom, because the way they've sort of angled it, you don't generally see that, so you just see the thinness. So that is the next best thing about this TV, and that is the design. So the next best thing about this TV, I feel, is the sound quality. Now, again, you've got to bear in mind, as I've just shown you, this is a very thin TV, and you know, there's not a lot to the back of it, even where the sort of thick bit is, there's not a great deal there, but the sound quality is really impressive for such a slim TV, and I'm going to demonstrate that now with a little bit of music. So let's fire it up. So at the moment I've got it on just the standard sort of settings, how it comes out of the box. You can make it sound even better if you want, but I've just left it how it is, and there is even a sound tuning mode that will adapt it to your living space. Let's turn it up a bit. I don't know how that's coming across. It's got a nice depth to the sound, and it is really loud as well. See, I think that sounds really nice. Don't get me wrong, I've got a proper dedicated amp and speakers, and it doesn't compare to anything like that, but as far as TVs go, I think it is doing an amazing job. Let's turn it up a bit. Yeah, sounds right. Right, turn it back down. And yeah, so that is the next best thing about this TV, and that is the sound quality. So, next thing up on the best things about this TV is the interface, or menus, or whatever you want to call it. I think it is just a really nice, simple design. Now, some TVs are a bit over complicated with menus and sub-menus and sub-menus and all that sort of stuff. This is just simply laid out, and I think it's, you know, as basic as you could get it, with still having access to everything, sort of easy enough. And yeah, it looks nice, it reacts quick. I mean, like, I can move apps around on here nice and simply. Just keep your finger on that there and just move an app around to somewhere else, move it, drop it there. That's it. It's just, it all just works nice and simply, and that is what I love. You've got a full array of all your sort of on-demand apps and all that sort of stuff from the App Store, which is, again, all nice and easily available. And yeah, I just think it's a pleasant one to look at as well. It's not, I mean, yes, it's a little bit cartoony for some people, and I have said this in the past, but you know, it's not offensive or in any way or anything like that. And like I say, it doesn't look overcomplicated. You know, I like the fact of when you go to an app or whatever it might be, it will bring up like another menu straight away, and you can just simply go straight into that without going right into the app itself. So you get a little sort of heads up of shows and things like that, say on like YouTube and whatnot. And I just think, yeah, it's just well thought out. And yeah, it's a credit to the TV. So that is the next best thing about this TV. Right, so the next thing on the best things about this TV is the remote control. Now, I must admit, I do have a bit of a love-hate relationship with this thing, but I will get to the negatives in another video. But today, I'm looking at the positives. So, the one thing that is really amazing about it is that it is a magic pointer. So, yes, you've got your traditional sort of up, down, left, right buttons on there. But a quick shake of the remote and, yeah, you get this magic pointer up. And it is a joy to use. You will never want to go back to a normal remote after you've used it. Everything else just feels so slow and cumbersome, especially when you're sort of like putting in details and things like that. Like if I go to YouTube here and I want to search, instead of like normally you go through, you know, the alphabet like this, it'd be all slow. Quick shake of the remote. That's it. Now I can just go to anything I want. It's just so much faster and simpler. It is just an absolute joy to use, you know, going through the menus. Again, yeah, I can just move that pointer left and right to whatever I want. It is just so much faster, and you don't realise how much time it saves until you've had one, and then you go back to using a regular remote. It just feels like so prehistoric and cumbersome. So yeah, that is the next best thing about this TV, is the remote control. Next best thing about this stunning TV is Dolby Vision. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what Dolby Vision is, it's basically Dolby's version of HDR, and it's just beefed up basically, so it just looks better. And yeah, it's a really good addition to the TV. And for some of you guys out there who aren't in the know, not all TVs have Dolby Vision on them. Now, you know, you've got your, like I say, regular HDR, and, you know, all your 4K HDR TVs will have the basic bare bones version of that, but not all will have Dolby Vision. And I feel it really does make a difference to the picture. I've tried regular HDR and Dolby Vision, and I think Dolby Vision looks better every time. So that is a real advantage to this TV, and that is the Dolby Vision. Right, whilst we're on the subject of HDR and Dolby Vision, the next best thing about it is to do with those two very things. And it might seem a bit odd, this sort of one that I'm going to mention now, but it is the fact that this TV actually tells you when you are playing HDR or Dolby Vision. Every time you run something, it will come up in the corner here. And it is just so handy to know. Again, a lot of you guys, when you buy these TVs new, you get them out of the box, you know, you're going to want to try out the best content that you can. And this tells you that you're watching that. A lot of other TVs don't. You've got to go into menus to get a confirmation that you are running that high quality. And if I just play something now, with any luck, there you go. Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, simple as that. Not intrusive, goes away after a second, but you get that reassuring confirmation. So that is the next best thing about this TV. Next best thing about this TV is the inclusion of Apple AirPlay 2. So yeah, this is a really handy feature. So if you've got an iPad, iPhone, something like that, and you've got your movies on there from like iTunes and whatnot, you can simply cast them to the TV. And not only can you just cast them in regular definition, you can cast them in 4K HDR and Dolby Vision, which is really handy. So you can really show off that screen. It's so simple to do. I'll just show you now. I'm sure a lot of you guys will know how to AirPlay anyway, but for those who don't, So I've got a film running here on my iPad. I press on the AirPlay button. I select for the TV. And then, with any luck in a second, there we go. It starts playing on the TV and in Dolby Vision. So that is the next best thing about this TV. And that is the inclusion of Apple AirPlay. Next up on the best things about this B9 OLED is the inclusion of all your assistants such as Google and Amazon Alexa. Now I find these things really handy because you can do some wonderful stuff with them. Now I have it set up with mine that I can turn on lights in the house and even turn up the heating. Yeah, I mean, that's mad. You just speak to the remote controller. It's got a microphone there in the end. You hold down a button and I just tell it to turn up the heating and it turns up the heating in the house. Just great. But you can also do all your regular stuff such as what's the weather like in New York City, and just ask it sort of general questions and whatnot, and you know, it will bring back all those results for that.
It's 4 degrees and cloudy there.
Which
It will be rainy with a full...
Right, she's off anyway. You know, which is real handy. But there we go. You've got your Google Assistant there, it says, and a few things that you can do. But you can also control stuff to do with the TV, you know, searching for programs and all that. When does Game of Thrones start? And yeah, it's just really, really handy. And like I said, you know, simply with the remote, and it works really well. You know, you get some of these assistants on things and, you know, you're shouting out the commands again and again. It doesn't understand you. This thing, it seems to be, you know, spot on, to be fair. You know, yes, it has the odd occasion it throws a bit of a wobbly, but most of the time, you know, it's good. So yeah, that is the next best thing about this TV, and that is the assistants. So we are now on to the final best thing about this TV, and that is you can turn it into a piece of artwork. Yes, you can turn your TV into art, and trust me, it looks stunning. So all you got to do is go to, if I can find it, there we go, gallery, and I'm going to go into this properly now. So click on gallery, and there is loads of options here of different sort of artworks and whatnot. And you simply click on one of these. I'll tell you, we'll actually do art gallery. And yeah, it turns your TV into a piece of artwork, you know, picture frame and all. And I must admit, it can look really, really convincing. Not so much at the moment because we've got some reflections coming off it. But when the lighting is just right, I tell you what, it is spot on. You know, to be fair, it looks really, really good. And it's just nice to have it running in the background, to be honest. Yeah, a lot of people, when I've had it running, and we've had people come in the house, you know, they've commented on, you know, how good it does look. And I just think, it's a real good addition to the TV. And because of the viewing angles, again, you know, it just makes it even that more convincing. Look at it, just looks great. Really nice. And like I say, you know, there's a few different ones on there that you can download. Got landmarks there, sunny day, rainy day. So yeah, it's just, you know, a nice little addition there, something to play around with. Look at that, it just looks beautiful. And yeah, get one of these TVs, impress your friends and family. Just have that running when they walk in. I'm sure they'll be blown away. And it just constantly sort of scrolls through from one to another. So yeah, that is the final best thing about this TV. So there you have it then, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video today, and if you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you haven't already subscribed, then maybe think about subscribing for more of the same in the future. So thanks very much for joining me today, and hopefully I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye for now.